Today we want to talk about the 2 reasons why your lack of self-love is causing issues in your relationship.
Yeah.
And the reason why we want to talk about this is because it's so important.
So huge.
And it's something that we've had to battle with ourselves. I've had a huge issue with this, and I know many of our clients and people we speak to have a big issue with this, because we've all been kids at one point, and we all had parents, have parents or had parents, and we've all dealt with some sort of upbringing. We've all had different experiences, and those things leave a lasting imprint on who we become, and then we tend to repeat that pattern as adults. So
there's 2 specific things we want to share, because self-love, it is huge, and it applies to men and women. We really want to make that clear. I've been on this self-love journey for myself for such a long time, and a lot of women a lot of the women that we work with, because of all of the media, the advertising, the idea of what beauty is, and that we need all these things on the outside to be beautiful, has really damaged women's relationship with self-love and believing that it has to come from the outside. And it creates so many insecurities and so much lack, and then we bring that into our relationship, and that just creates so many problems. But for men, it's the same thing. So men still have the issue of the advertising, these bodies, needing to look a certain way to be, loved. They still have that. They're not always, maybe you as a man, maybe you feel like you're not as affected by it, and Adam was the same. But the truth is, whether you're a man or a woman, we are all human beings. And human beings need love to survive. We were all a baby once, and we all knew as children that we deserved love. Love for who we are. We didn't come in thinking we needed to be a certain way.
No.
We had self-love, which basically means there's 2 parts to this that I believe in, that we teach. The first part is accepting yourself for who you are. So absolutely loving and accepting yourself unapologetically for who you are, accepting your imperfections, because let's be real, we all have imperfections. None of us are perfect. We're definitely not perfect.
No.
We have flaws, we have good bits, we have bad bits, we have ugly parts, we all have them. It's what makes us human. And that's that first part of self-love. It's actually learning how to accept it and really love yourself fully and wholeheartedly. The second part is being able to allow yourself to grow and your relationship to change, so that you can grow and become more of your potential and who you're here to become. So there is 2 parts to self-love. Often when you hear self-love, it's very much talked about in the sense of self-care. And yes, that is important, but it starts with the inner work. So, the number 1 reason why self-love is creating and is the root cause of the problems in your relationship is because if you have a lack of self-love for yourself, then you have a lack of self-love for your partner. We literally get what we are in our relationships, not what we want.
You can never give your partner something that you don't already have in yourself. If you haven't cultivated a deep sense of love and acceptance for yourself, you can't give that to anyone.
And this was a major issue in our relationship. Adam wasn't very connected to himself. He didn't have a deep connection to himself. As a child, it wasn't encouraged to be your authentic self. It was encouraged to please. And so many men and women have caught on to this disease of pleasing. So a great place to start is to ask yourself, who did you need to be in order to be loved? Who did you need to be? Who did you need to be for your parents? Who did you need to be for the people in your life? What did you have to do? Did you need to be strong? Did you have to, not cry, not show any emotion? Did you have to be the good girl, the good boy? Did you have to care about everybody else? And in doing that, you stopped caring about yourself. And that was something that I really struggled with. I got so good at getting my love from caring or getting my significance or self-worth from caring about other people. And so many women I work with struggle with this. They're doing everything for everybody else and nothing for themselves. They have a deep lack of self-love, and it leads to resentment. I was so resentful in our relationship. I was so frustrated. I was so angry. I felt so trapped. And the truth was, I needed to come back to the core, which is I needed to learn how to love myself, so that I could let Adam actually love me, so that I could love him. It started with me, and it was the same with Adam. He needed to learn how to love himself, the good, the bad, to face himself, to really look in the mirror and be able to accept himself in order for me to accept him. And So a great way to start healing that is to ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself these questions we're sharing, and start to even rate yourself. Like, what level is your self-love at the moment? If like 1 is like non-existent and 10 is like amazing, couldn't be any better, where are you on that scale? And this isn't about judging yourself. This isn't about right or wrong. It's about being honest with yourself. And that's what self-love is. It's being truly honest with yourself. So be honest with yourself about where you are in your current self-love journey.
And for the men too, if you find it really hard to answer this question like I did, if you go, I don't even know what the answer is to that. I don't even know if I love myself or not. I think I do.
Yeah.
That's how I was. And the reason why I didn't have an answer is because I'd never done any of that work. I'd never asked these questions. So don't make yourself wrong because you can't find a number. Just start asking some more questions about, why do I actually love myself?
Yeah, and I actually helped Adam. I asked him, do you make yourself happy? And he was like, sometimes I think, and just so from that, it was like, okay, well, is it more a yes or more a no? And at the time, it was a no. And just facing that in Adam's self really helped him to
become more curious. I think that's the key word. Be curious. Don't make yourself wrong because you haven't got the answer. I know as guys, we like to see a goal and go straight at the target and succeed. But in this kind of work, it's very difficult. You just need to become curious.
The goal is be willing.
Yeah, be willing.
The goal is be willing to find the answer, and you will find it. So drop the resistance. Resistance is the opposite to willingness. Be willing, and you will start to find the answer. You could also ask yourself, what's great about me? What do I love about me? I remember asking these questions of Adam, and it brought up a lot of emotion, and it does with a lot of clients that we work with, because they're disconnected from who they are and what is great about them. We spend so much time looking outside that the thought of coming home and looking at ourselves for love seems like crazy and far out. It's crazy.
It is. And going into the second one, which we've already sort of touched on, is repeating patterns of your childhood.
So you literally recreate the relationships that you witnessed as a child between your parents, or however they related to you. So you learn how to relate to another person and to yourself from the people who raised you, and you form this blueprint before the age of 7. So you haven't got the rational mind to make sense of it. You just take it as it is. And that's why a lot of people have a lot of trauma around their relationships, around their level of self-love, self-worth, self-esteem, because you learned from a young age, or you witnessed or you experienced things that made you think that love was pain, or that it was normal to be emotionally unavailable in a relationship. We work with a lot of couples and also a lot of singles who are wanting to break patterns in their relationship, and one of the patterns is this inability to be emotionally available, and that comes back to self-love. If you want to be emotionally available in yourself, if you want an emotionally available man, the root cause is a lack of self-love. If you're not feeling confident in your relationships, it's a lack of self-love. If there's no self-esteem or self-worth, the root cause is a lack of self-love. So you don't need to work on everything. You need to start with working on your relationship to yourself and giving yourself that self-love, which literally means it must come from the self. The clue is in the name. It's not about external validation or what Adam thinks of me or what the world thinks of me or what you think of me. It's about what I think about myself. That needs to be higher up on your list than anything else. And learning how to change these patterns has been life-changing in our relationship. We were playing out so many patterns of a lack of self-love and a lack of love that we had learnt from our parents. And there's no blame in this. They only know what they know, and we can only do better when we know better. But we know better now, and that's why we're sharing it with you. You get to decide, is this the level of love I want to have for myself? Is this the level of love I want to experience in my relationship? And, we've got kids, so it was like, is this the level of love I want to mirror to my children? Is this what I want them to think is possible for them in a relationship? Again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about being true to what you deserve and the love that you are worthy of, which is, it's limitless, it's endless, it's unconditional. And to have that, you need self-love first. So it's really, really important. I could talk about it all day. We've actually got a self-love workshop coming up this week. So if you want to know more about this, if your next step needs to be to find out more about self-love and to learn how you can build that in yourself. So come and join us for our workshop. It's all online. We'll put the details below.
Yeah. There'll be a replay too, guys. So, so if you click the link down below this video, you'll be able to get access to that.
Yeah, it's for men and women and couples, and we'd love to have you there. We'd love to share with you more about our journey of enhancing our own self-love, what that's looked like, the places it's taken us, how it's shape-shifted our relationship and also our parenting, and how it's healed us and healed our relationship and continues to. It's incredible and it's really powerful, and we'd love to share it with you. So we'll see you there.
See you guys.